want you to meet Denise Abernathy. Denise says she has the world's most unusual nails, but when she applied to Guinness, she was rejected. Denise, I gotta ask, because I know everybody's thinking this question, and I know you're tired. Don't move those things, all right? I know you're, but are they real?
You don't know, Jerry, what that does to me when people ask me that question. You work for all the time that I've worked trying to get these nails long and trying to keep from losing them, and then somebody walks up to you and asks you that dumb question, are they real?
Yeah, but with all apologies for the question of are they real, that may not be the dumbest thing we're talking about here, because why would you, I mean, let me ask it in a friendly way, and why, of all the things you could do, I'll be your friend, I know, but of all the things you could do in the world, why would you let your nails grow long?
Well, of all the things I could do in the world, this is what I chose to do. What happened really is I was trying to grow my nails long, and after I had gotten through the first 12 months, I never made it through the first 12 months without losing nails before. And when I got through the first 12 months, I just decided to keep going and see what I could do with them. And, you know, you work, you do everything you can to keep from losing them. You have to take care of them. You know, you're always looking to make sure that, that you're careful of what you do. And then somebody comes up to you and asks you that question. Yeah. And, you know, people run after you down the street. They pull on you at counters. They chase you through the halls. You're sitting on a bus full of people, and somebody from the back is hollering at me up here, excuse me, miss, are your nails real? And then, you know, then everybody turns around and looks at you, and you're sitting there looking like a fool, wondering what to say, and, you know, trying to ignore them, but not be impolite, and
But in fairness, and just for the point of discussion here, in fairness, you know that if you're going to do something so different, I'm not making a value judgment, there's nothing wrong with long nails, but if you're going to do something so different, you honestly can't expect that you're going to be able to walk down the street or go into a place and have someone look at that and then not comment. I mean, when I first see you, I'm not going to say, gosh, look at your glasses. I mean, isn't that the first thing I'm going to notice?
Well, yeah, that's the first thing you're going to notice, but why would somebody ask, are they real? I mean, where would something like this come from? Where would you find something like this? I mean, who's got a mind like that? You just, you know, this is, I mean, common sense ought to tell you that it's real. No offense.
Yeah, well, no, well, I have short nails and short common sense. Why, help me through this.
Okay.
What do you have to do each day to take care of it? Because I want to see the effort that goes.
I have to be careful with everything that I do. I have to be careful when I put on my clothes. I have to be careful taking them off. I have to be careful when I work. I have to be careful doing everything. But as they grow out longer, I get used to doing things differently. I do everything that I have to do. I just do it in a different way. If I break a nail, and I have broken them over the years, I use tissue paper and fingernail glue to mend the break and the split to keep from losing them.
I see.
That's how they got this long. But as for how they grow the way they grow, they just grow this way. There's nothing I can do about that. You know,
if we would all do that, they would eventually curl like that.
And well, I couldn't say that because some people have told me that they've actually seen people whose fingernails were longer than mine. And I never had claimed to be the longest, but I do claim to be the most unusual. And
how does that make you feel? Is that important to you to have the most unusual nails?
Yeah, it's important to me because I like being different. I don't like being like everybody else. I go out of my way not to be like everybody else. And my nails growing different really makes me feel fine.
Why not the other hand?
I have to work, and I can't work with both hands full of nails. I can work when these are longer, but I prefer to keep them shorter so I can do my work. I'm an account clerk at Franklin County Welfare Department in Columbus, Ohio, and I have to use my calculator. I have to use my typewriter.
And you can type with that?
Yeah, I can type with my hand, and I use both of them. I have to do it differently, but I can do it, and I've been typing for 20 years there, and it doesn't interfere with my work. It doesn't interfere with anything I do. I just have to do things differently.
Could you, we have a typewriter set up here because I knew that's what you did for a living. Could you kind of show us how you, I'd be real interested to see this.
You want to see it right now?
Yeah, it's either that or play the piano, and I'm not sure you play the piano.
I haven't mastered the piano yet, and okay. Let me see. This is on, I believe. Okay.
Let's see if we can get a good shot of this. Now you're doing, well, you're ladies and gentlemen, okay, you're actually pushing down some of the keys with your nails.
Yes. I can use my thumbnail here as the shift, for the shift key. I can also hit the backward space. I can hit the erase key. I can hit all of these over here. I can hit the return key, tab set, tab clear, repeat. And then, of course, I use my left hand. And sometimes when I'm typing, I just reach over. I'll do something 1, 2, 3, 9, or whatever. And then I'll just reach over like this and go like that, and then just, you know, keep on going.
Okay, so you can do this. When you applied to the Guinness Book of Records, they told you, thanks but no thanks?
Yes, they did.
Why
They
were you
turned me down
rejected?
flat. He told me that my nails were not the longest, and we're sorry. That was it. He just gave me a short, curt reply, and he told me that the longest nails were 181 inches. And I said, well, I told him I wasn't the longest, so,
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say to that?
Are
And,
you working on that?
Yeah, but I don't think
Why?
I'm going to
Why?
make it to
Help me.
181 inches.
Why do you want to...
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, this is great. Yana, I was showing you broke your toenails.
I told him I'm the clumsiest.
Have a seat.
I told him I'm the clumsiest
Oh,
person in the
well,
world.
there goes the record. Oh,
Don't say that. Don't say it.
no. Are they insured by Lloyd's of London or something?
No, Lloyd's of London doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm just growing them, and I'm just going to see what I can do and how much longer I can go. And we've already told the Guinness Book man there what's going to happen to him if we don't make it. So
you can hurt people with those nails, can't you?
yeah, but I think it would hurt me worse than it would hurt them.
Yeah, it would seem to me that there's nothing you couldn't scratch. I mean, those are, yeah. Why
They're
is it,
unusual.
help me and then we'll get,
They're different. They're
why
unusual.
is it so, because I'm talking to you and you're obviously an intelligent, articulate, rational person.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
Well, I always talk this way to people that have 12-inch nails.
Okay.
Tell me something. Why is it so important to be in the Guinness Book of World Records?
It's something that I want to do. It's something that I just want to do because most people that have long fingernails, they're just long. You know, they really can't do anything with them. Not anybody that I know of. And I've had people tell me the same thing. How, you know, I just never been able to do anything but long nails, and I know people that can't do anything. And how in the world can you do anything with them? But it's the same thing. As your fingernails grow out, you get used to doing things differently. You get used to being more careful. You get used to handling things differently. I can't pick up a piece of paper. I can't pick up a pen. I can't pick up a pencil. I have trained my left hand to do things that my right hand can no longer do well.
And it's obviously worth it to go through all this.
Yeah, it's worth it to me.
Okay.
It's worth it to me, and I'm really enjoying it. And
if I asked you what you did yesterday and you said, well, I did my nails, that really is a full day's work.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
There's just nothing you can do with them. I mean, there's nothing that you can do but just let them grow. And after they get long and start looking like these look, when they twist all around like this and, you know, do all that kind of thing, all you can do with them is just let them grow.
Yeah. I used to bite my
really,
nails. I used to bite my nails, but I just got tired of taking my shoes off all the time.
Oh, okay. But
Later.
I've never gone through that, and I've never had to, but I'm having fun with this, and I'm trying to see if I can get in Guinness, and, you know, we've already told them
I
what's going
wish
to
you
happen
luck.
if we don't
Honestly,
make it.
just by effort, you know. I mean, good luck.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and I
Yeah,
just want to say thank you. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do that a lot of people can't do, and, you know, things are just different, and I can take this fingernail here, I can wrap it around my thumb. I can take my thumb and work it in here just like that. And I can wrap it almost 3 times around my thumb. See that? Can you see that? Can the audience see it? I can wrap it around my thumb just like that. And I can take this nail here, and I can wrap it around my wrist just like that. And I can make wear it around my wrist just like a bracelet.
Yeah.
And I can take this one and wrap it around this wrist.
I'm, you know, I thought I'd seen everything during this talk show. Good Lord, this sets a record. Later, Denise will get a chance to plead her. Hi, I'm Jerry Springer, and we're talking to people rejected by the Guinness Book of Records. Meet Maxie Coleman and her parrot, Giorgio. Maxie believes Giorgio is the world's best-dressed parrot. But when they applied to Guinness, they were rejected. Maxie, how did Giorgio become the world's best-dressed parrot?
Well, it began 8 years ago. I had another parrot that I loved dearly, and my daughter, who was Marion is her name, was a Playboy bunny, and she came home with a bunch of balloons. It was holiday time, just like it is now, and she came in with these balloons, and my parrot stayed on top of his cage, and he got frightened, and he flew away. And I came home from work after working in fragrances for Giorgio company. And I came home and I looked under the beds. I couldn't find him. I asked my daughter what happened to the parrot. She said, I don't know. And it turned out he was frightened and he flew the coop. So I told my daughter, get out of the house.
Wait,
I
you what?
disowned her.
You disowned?
My daughter.
You disowned? Wait.
Marion,
Gosh, and I'm... Wait a second. I am the first one... Lord knows, anyone who knows me will say, boy, that Jerry, he really likes parrots. So don't say that I don't like parrots. But to give up your own daughter, I mean...
Well,
isn't it a little bit weird?
Parrot was my favorite child. And it meant more to me than anything. This other parrot, it was a stupid parrot. It said 2 words.
A stupid parrot! You gave up your daughter!
For 3 months, I threw her out of the house, and I refused to talk to her.
Is this... Are you... You're smiling.
I'm
really?
serious.
You gave up your daughter for a parrot?
Yes, and I came into the department store, and I was crying, and I told everyone this terrible story and how I hate my daughter, and I threw her out of the house, and people started to laugh at me, and I couldn't understand it.
Did anybody say, with all due respect, did anybody says you need help? I mean, no? You're giving up your daughter. I mean,
Yeah, but
but...
There is nothing like a pet. I mean, a parrot especially.
Really?
You agree? You want to say something?
You can't replace... You could replace a pet, but you can't replace a child.
Oh, well, I found that out now. Very good. You're right. I found it out now because I did replace the pet. That parrot was gone.
Can't replace... Okay, so now you got Giorgio.
And 3 months later, sight unseen, I saw it in the paper. I had to have another green parrot. So sight unseen, I saw advertised a blue-fronted Amazon, a baby parrot, and I sent another daughter, Kim, to pick this bird up, sight unseen.
Now, Kim is still okay, but she's nervous. Because if she loses this parrot on the way home, she's out of here.
No, I almost killed her.
All right. Now you got your parrot, Giorgio.
All right, I almost killed Kim because Kim came home with this. I gave her $300 to buy this parrot, and I come home from work, and it's a half-dead bird. It looks like a sick pigeon. It's gray mottled feathers, and it's lying on the bottom of the cage, and it's got this big, ugly beak and these ugly claws, and I was ashamed to show it to anyone. And I thought, I got rooked. This bird is going to die. There's something wrong with it, and everyone's going to laugh at me. And would you believe it turned into this beautiful, beautiful hunk of man right here?
Yeah.
He's beautiful. Beautiful.
I noticed the parrot's carrying a gun.
Well, for Halloween, we work in Burdine's department store.
Now you dress up your...
Yeah. This is our Halloween. We have different costumes for every holiday and occasion. And this is I'm Breathless Mahoney, and this is guess who?
Yeah. Is this, that's Dick Tracy. You know, I'm trying to make an intelligent conversation out of this, and I'll be honest, I'm having trouble, okay? I'm having trouble, I admit it. Tell me, why do you go through all of this? It's a nice bird. Oh, it's a beautiful bird. But you have all these outfits. If a bird was meant to have outfits, they would have bird clothing stores in the jungles. They don't. It's got its feathers.
Well, you know what the problem is?
No, obviously I don't.
I had 3 children, and I made them these beautiful costumes ever since they were this high, and they refused to wear them. And I finally found somebody who would wear my outfits, my costumes.
I gotta tell you, I'm surprised the kids stayed around that long. I mean, okay, you want to get, all right, I'm assuming that a lot of this stuff you're saying is just kind of fun. No? Please tell me, because I can't go on.
Jerry,
you got to tell me you love your children more than the birds.
Jerry, you sound like the man when we were dressed up for Halloween. He came up, he looked at me, and he looked at Giorgio, and he said, oh, I get it, to Giorgio. You're her pimp. You see, you don't understand these things.
No, I think I understand. First of all, can the bird say anything?
He says everything, but not when I want him to. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He sings 10 songs off key, just like I do.
Okay. Hey, Bert, what's the... Giorgio. Giorgio, talk to me. Hey, Giorgio, if I just put the mic in, would he talk to you? Hey, Giorgio.
Hi. No, he's got to be in the mood.
This ought to be on David Letterman.
He makes love, though. He makes love.
What is special about the Guinness? But what is special about the... Why do you want to be in Guinness, and for what?
Because, well, it started when a photographer came into town and took photos of Giorgio for the Enquirer, the National Enquirer. And when I got the copy, it said, World's Best Dressed Parrot. And I turned over the other page, it said, World's Best Strongest Man. And he's in the French Guinness Book of Records. So I thought, well, gee, the Enquirer labeled me, Giorgio, the best dressed parrot. Yeah. So I sent the article to Guinness Book of Records. This was 3 years ago. I've been rejected twice from the Guinness Book of Records, not once.
I'd like to ask you if you have a husband.
Yes.
So do you put...
Is he alive? Yeah.
But he can't compete with Giorgio.
So do you put him out when Giorgio wants to make love?
What was that?
You say Giorgio makes love. Do you put the husband out then?
Well, Giorgio's more affectionate, put it that way.
Yes.
Do you make the clothes for him?
Yes, he's got 80 outfits.
80 outfits?
At least 80. I stopped counting. He has 3 Giorgio jackets because he wore out 2 of them. Now this is his 3rd one. I'll show you his Giorgio jacket.
I'll tell you what, when we come back, maybe we'll set a new record. The most... Joining us now is Ashrita Furman. He hasn't been rejected by Guinness. In fact, he currently holds 7 world records and has held a total of 35 world records. Ashrita, why the pogo stick?
Well, I was always good on a pogo stick as a kid, and that was the first thing I turned to when I decided I wanted to break a Guinness record.
What is it about breaking the Guinness record? I mean, why is that a life goal?
Well, it's tremendous fun. It's a tremendous challenge for me, and also it fits in with my overall philosophy about life, that human beings... No, seriously.
That it has its ups and downs?
Yeah, well, that too. But no, human beings are unlimited. I really believe that. And I've been meditating for 20 years. I have a teacher, Sri Chinmoy, and I've really learned through my own personal experience that you can do anything that you want to, and especially when you know how to meditate. So what I'd love to do is just look through the book, choose a category that I think I might be able to do, train for it, and then do it.
So you have other records besides this?
Many other records, yeah.
And what are they? Give me an example of some of them.
Well, for instance, just even on the pogo stick.
Are you coming
after?
Am I going to be hurt?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I'm kind of getting dizzy, so it's okay.
On the pogo stick, I went up Mount Fuji in Japan. That was my first record on a pogo stick.
Up Mount Fuji,
on a
pogo stick.
11.5 miles.
Pogo stick, yeah.
And I've done other things on a pogo stick, like I pogo stick underwater in the Amazon River.
How can you pogo stick underwater?
With a snorkel. And
ask a silly question, but how does it end? Yeah, well, here, there are questions. Stay right where... Well, you're doing just fine, yeah.
Okay, keep going.
My question is, what's the longest amount of time you have jumped on your pogo stick? And secondly, this is kind of personal, bodily functions and things like that when you're doing it.
Okay.
How does that operate?
All right, well...
That's a good question I hadn't thought of, but
yeah.
frankly...
Well, the Mount Fuji one took a long time. It took me about 8 hours. And usually, when you're in good shape and you sort of like used to this kind of thing, you really...
You don't have to go for 8 hours?
Nature, yeah.
I'm telling you, I got to go just watching you.
Really, do you?
I don't want to be personal.
I actually also pogo sticked up the CN Tower, the world's tallest building.
Yeah.
In Toronto.
Yeah.
And, well, I've done other things like somersaulted 12 miles along Paul Revere's ride. That was really tough. And again, that's where the challenge comes in, because when I first tried it, I could only do like 5 or 6 forward rolls.
Yeah.
And I got dizzy and nauseous, and I said, you know, you've got to be crazy to be able to do this, you know? But it became a challenge for me because I felt, look, if someone else could do this, and, you know, I have the capacity to control sort of my senses, my reactions to things, why can't I do it? So I practiced for it. I eventually did 12 miles. It was really tough. It's continuous, but they allow you to throw up. That's the only stop.
But you literally, if you have to, for example, go to the bathroom, you're not allowed to take a stop.
No, you are.
I'll see you later. I guess you're leaving, huh? Where are you going? I can't even walk. Where? Oh, there you go. Stand up.
I was wondering if you had a job or anything.
Say that again?
Do you have a job or anything?
Yeah, I manage a health food store.
A health food store.
Right.
Well, that's a good advertisement for it. I mean, you seem to be in very good shape, and I guess you'd have to be.
Yeah, it keeps you in good shape.
What's the part of the body that you use the most? Your legs? Is that what it? Or yeah.
Oh, it's overall good exercise.
Yeah.
Stomach, legs, arms, shoulders. Yeah.
You ever get dizzy?
What was the longest distance that you ever hopped? I mean, how many? 10 miles, 20 miles?
My actual record is 14.99 miles, which I did in Korea. I've done things longer. For instance, I balanced a bottle. Now, this sounds silly, but if you think about it, it requires a lot of concentration. I balanced a full bottle of milk on my head and walked with it for 61 miles. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but...
A little bit.
Yeah, but if you think about it, there's a tremendous... I mean, I didn't invent this category. It was in the book, but there's a tremendous amount of concentration. And, you know, you got to hold it...
If you're going to concentrate on that, why not concentrate on something that does a lot more good in the world than balancing milk?
Well, you see, for me, I'm trying to give people a message. This is my way of saying, look, I was a wimp as a kid growing up. I could never do any of this stuff. I started
And now you can walk 61 miles with milk on your head.
Well, I think that's an accomplishment for me.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. I have no... You know what? I'll be honest. If somebody asked me, if you came back on tomorrow's show and sat down like everybody else, I have no idea what you look like. Because frankly, to me, you're a blur. Is there hope for Denise and Giorgio? I want you to meet Mark Young, the United States editor of the Guinness Book of Records. Mark, I'm going to let each of our guests here plead their case to get in the Guinness Book, and then I want to tell you to tell us why they didn't get in. So Denise, let's start with you. Here's your chance. You know, he's kind of impressionable. He may
shoot from the hip, Denise. Don't hold it back. Okay.
Well, I just want to know, you know, just what was the matter with you? Why did you turn me down like that?
Well, for Denise, we did a little bit of research. Okay, I brought the current edition of the book. Little plug here. And on page 63, you will find that we do, in fact, have a record for the longest fingernails. Okay, it's a gentleman from India. His name is Sridhar Chilal. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. Now, his nails are 100, as you can see on the monitor, the total of his 5 nails on his left hand are 195 inches, okay? The longest being his thumb, which is 46. Okay. We brought this photo along. Now, we don't have a category for most unusual, okay? We don't do that. We do measurable things, longest, fastest, shortest, what have you. But I think if you look at the monitor, you will see that he also has a pretty good claim to the most unusual nails. So you're not the longest, and you couldn't say yours are more unusual than this gentleman.
Well, I didn't claim to be the longest. You got to remember that.
That's right. I know you didn't.
I never made one claim to being the longest.
But you see what he's... Okay, but you see what he's saying? He's saying...
Oh, I see exactly what he's saying, that his are unusual. And they are unusual. There's no question about that. But he can't do what I can do with mine. I have to work with mine.
Whoa.
I have to type, and I have to earn a living with mine.
You will find this interesting, Denise. I knew I was coming on the program. I knew you were going to put a very strong case.
Okay.
And I called the London office where Guinness are based. And in fact, you're not going to believe this, but this gentleman is also a secretary. And he spends his days typing as well. Now, unlike you...
I'll tell you what.
All right.
Here's a category, and we'll do it here in this show, and we'll invite him. We'll invite him here on our show.
Yeah,
you two have a typing contest. And here's the contest. The fastest typist with long nails. Can you out-type him?
I would imagine I probably could.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, no, I don't know. So.
But we'll have the contest.
So you're going to get in trouble again.
Why? Because that's measurable.
Fastest typist.
With long nails. Who've appeared on our show.
We're not going to break it down.
And one who's from England. Good Lord, that's a perfect category. Yeah.
I didn't catch it.
How do you decide what topic to use?
Okay, as I said before, they have to be measurable. Longest, shortest, fastest, heaviest, tallest, what have you. It also has to be something of general interest. There are a lot of people that participate in on a regular basis. For instance, Ashrita's milk bottle balancing record. Now, that started off with people balancing books on their heads and how far could they walk. We probably all did that as kids. And then it went to milk bottles. His record has been broken 3 times this year. So people are out there doing this.
They're out there to walk more than 61 miles? I mean, is there nothing else to do in the day?
Well, that's for Ashrita.
And wouldn't the milk turn sour by then?
It does, actually. But no, you see, it's a challenge for people. It's something that people can look at and say, well, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could do better. You see, that's what, for me, that's what the Guinness Book is. Yeah. The Guinness Book is something, it's an example that people say, wow, the best in the world is this. The longest in the world is this.
That's right. Nobody does it better than you.
Let me see if I could challenge that. Let me see what it takes to do that. And I'll tell you something. When you try it, you'll see how hard it is. It's extremely
I believe you. I couldn't do it for 3 seconds.
I've been doing it for 15 years. And it's extremely difficult. And, you know, just to answer this other question, you know, Guinness sets up specific categories. And you kind of have to, if you want to get in the book, you have to fit into those categories. Otherwise, the book would be thousands and thousands and thousands of pages
long. Well, let's give Maxie a shot now. Maxie, you've got Giorgio there. Giorgio has been very solid, and I got to tell you, I'm a little bit disappointed. You bring a parrot on the show, and Giorgio doesn't talk.
Well, that's not his forte. He is the best-dressed parrot.
So he's on here for being dressed, but you dress him. He doesn't dress himself.
He has the most outfits, 80 outfits, which I sent to Guinness Book of Records. I videotape showing it. The thing is, I think it's wonderful. I think the book is wonderful, but I think they should broaden their horizons a little. I think it's getting a little trite with the same competition. Who cares how many? A man has 80 cigarettes in his mouth. Is that how many?
Well,
how many
I have to tell you, Maxie.
Yes.
As lovely as Giorgio is, and I must say, my experience with parrots is kind of limited to Long John Silver, but some of these records we did take out, the book does change every year.
But Giorgio belongs
a lot of these eating records, a lot of the marathon records.
That's in the book too, isn't it?
What's that?
The Long John Silver. Go ahead.
But, excuse me, but what about the omelet?
That, but it's not in the book.
The biggest omelet, how do you pronounce P-A-E-L-L-A? Paella? That they make the largest thing?
Yes.
Who cares about that?
But there are people out there eating paella tonight.
But there are people out here growing long fingernails.
The world.
There are, and that's in the book, but there is not.
But I'm not.
A lot of people out there. Well,
but the
that's because you don't have the record, my dear.
You know
what? I'm trying to get in for setting one.
Well, I know, and if you break Mr. Chidar's record, then hey, we'll put you in.
You can tell me what Mr. Chidar can do, but I haven't seen him do it. Can he make bracelets around his wrists out of his fingernails?
I don't know
can
the answer to that. I must confess, I know how long his nails are, but I do not know if he can wrap his nails.
Well, see, then you ought to put me in there because I can. How many people do you know that've got fingernails that they can wrap around their own wrists?
Right.
You're the only person I must confess.
Well, then she should put her in for nails that wrap around the wrist 3 times.
This is, I got to tell you, this is fascinating.
I have a question. How long does it take you to get your rings on around your nails?
My rings doesn't take any time at all. I'm going to take this one off to show you, and then I'll take this one off to show you.
Oh.
If I can get it off. I've done damage before like this.
Well, we don't. It's we're going to believe you.
I don't want. All right, I'll tell you what.
My conscience could not live with you breaking your nails on this show.
That's okay. She wants to sit. I'm going to put my ring
Neither
on.
could my budget.
See? Oh. That was very simple. Now I'm going to take this ring here, and I'm going to put...
How long does it take you to clean
I'll put
them?
There's no cleaning that has to be done. All I have to do is just...
You don't have to clean your nails?
No, because dirt doesn't get underneath them. They're too long. Dirt gets underneath short fingernails.
Well, dirt can get on them. It doesn't have to get underneath them.
I keep my hands clean. I mean, I wash my hands like everybody else. I wash my hands. I take baths. I use lotions. I use...
Oh, and that's what I'm saying. You clean... Oh, that way you clean your nails.
Oh, was that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
I mean, did I do something special to clean them?
Yeah.
Well, no, every now and then I'll put soap on them and, you know, wash these just like I wash my hands.
I see.
And when I do wash my hands, I have to dry my fingernails more than I have to dry my hands.
Yeah.
Maxie, why don't you try, for a perk and getting into the Guinness Book of Records, turn Giorgio into a first parrot transvestite and have him do Dolly Parton and
things. He's a cross-dresser. He has female...
He could be on a talk show then.
Family publication.
In terms of the pogo stick jumper, what you should do is promote for the against drunk driving pogo stick, bar hop on the pogo stick, and do commercials so that we have sober youth.
Are you her agent?
You're hired.
Very good idea.
I wanted to know, are the people paid that get in the book? Do they get any money of any type?
If you do set a record, what you get is a certificate. You do not get any monetary remuneration at all from Guinness.
Well, next, a woman who says maybe our... Joining us now is licensed clinical social worker Felicia Glick-Oberwise of the Imbalanced Psychotherapy Group. She says Denise, Maxie, and even Ashrita are obsessive compulsive people. Felicia, explain that.
Well,
What did she say?
Those are fighting words.
She says you're obsessive and compulsive. It's not a curse word. It's okay. Go ahead.
Obsessive compulsive is something maybe each of us might have a tendency towards. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're all crazy, though. I think in each one of these cases we can see where a goal that's driven them a little too far, maybe, to do things that maybe interfere with their relationships or their everyday functioning. Some obsessions can be good, but sometimes they get in the way.
Which is there anything unhealthy about what Denise has done with her nails?
Well, you're asking me to make a judgment statement.
Yeah, that's
we have to ask Denise sometimes too. Do you feel like your thoughts and your fixed ideas on this might get in the way of,
I don't have no
everyday
problems
life?
at all. I'm just wondering what's the matter with you.
I'd like to say amen, Denise. I am real tired of social workers coming up with obsessive compulsive disorders and all of the rigmarole you come up with. Let's look at the pogo stick man. This man's into meditation. He's into taking good care of his health. He's motivated. He has a challenge. He has a goal. He has a reason for living. He's moving forward. How much better could it be? I would check your records on yourself about obsessive compulsive. I am so sick of these social
And you know what? You bring up a very good point. She brings up a very good point. Not all obsessive compulsive behavior is unhealthy, but it is unhealthy and damaging to your lifestyle if, A, say you find yourself doing it for more than an hour a day, or B, you find that it's interfering with your relationships with people. If you're alienating the people you love because of a fixed idea.
So if Ashrita met a woman who was pogo sticking down the road, that'd be fine because they'd be doing it together. Have you ever met a woman pogo sticking?
I can say that
all the time.
Ashrita certainly has managed to incorporate it in a lifestyle that works for him, being a manager of a health food store and his goals in the lifestyle that he presents to us.
Yeah, now Maxie though, but Maxie, and God love you Maxie, but you kicked your daughter out, your own flesh and blood, you kicked her out because not of her fault, she didn't purposely do anything, the parrot flew away. She kicked her own daughter out. That's not positive behavior, is it?
It certainly doesn't sound positive. It would depend on how they resolve the issues in the end. That's something.
All right, I'm glad you said that, because what happened was, this is a wonderful ending to a sad story. When I got Giorgio and he became so talented, and he also works with me, I took my daughter back after 4 or 5 months.
Talented? He's sitting there with a stupid coat on. He's not talented. He's a lovely bird, but he's not talented.
But I kissed her, and I said, Marion, it was the best thing you ever did by letting the other bird loose. So there was a happy ending to this
Okay, I'll give you
story.
First of all, I think this is very excessive and compulsive. Also, I have 2 questions, one for Denise, one for Maxine. First of all, Denise, do the nails have any effect on your intimate relationships? And second of all, Maxie, is it Maxie or Maxine?
Maxie.
Maxie, have you ever thought about having the parrot strip and go and Playboy with your daughter?
How did you know he does that? He comes out of a birthday cake.
I think it would be a pretty good shot with you, your daughter, and the parrot naked on.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask
you know, we're getting more ideas for shows.
No.
Do you want to answer?
I just answered him, no, I don't have any problems with anything that I do at all with my fingernails. They don't interfere, they don't hinder, they don't get in the way at all, and I'm a perfectly normal, balanced person.
Oh,
Okay. I was just wondering why you want to try to break a world record. I mean, if you do it, you do it. But if you, why would you want to waste your time trying?
She's asking.
Who's next?
Me?
This one, the poke.
Oh.
Yeah, what is it about the world record that makes you devote so much time and energy?
You know, I'd like to answer that just because I've had a lot of experience. It's a challenge. I mean, you can say, why climb a mountain? Why climb Mount Everest? Why try to be the fastest man on Earth? Why try to drive the fastest car, go over 200 miles, whatever it is? Why? Because it's a challenge. It's something, it's progress in your own life. It's a way to sort of intensely dedicate yourself to one particular purpose and then to achieve it. And you get tremendous self-confidence by doing it. You find tremendous inner strength within your own self. And to me, that's what my life is all about.
And for most of us, and yeah, go ahead. And for most of us, we're not going to walk, we're not going to be able to run the 3-minute and 50-second mile. But we probably could decide to get that milk bottle on our head and learn how to do that.
Well, that's the purpose.
You need a flat head, don't you?
It gives an outlet for people to show their skills.
This is a question for the girl with the longest nails. My mom has a fingernail business, and I'm wondering if you could go for a record with the most decorative and the most longest nails.
Oh, very good. Me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've never painted these. They're too, you see, I mean, can you imagine me trying to paint these? I mean, I would let somebody else if they wanted to paint them, but I couldn't do it myself because, you know, they run into each other and paint has to dry and they twist all up and hook all up all over like that. So,
yeah,
you know, sometimes I have to actually pull them loose. Because
and you go for more of the natural look.
Yeah, and I like to be me. You know what I mean?
You got to be me.
Like I said before, I try to stay natural so people will stop asking that dumb question, are they real?
Like I did.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. When we come back, the world's largest cockroach.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
I would like to know the life expectancy of a parrot, and if it does die, are you going to replace it?
Well, he's in my prayers every night. He can live with God's help to be 90 years old if he's well cared for. And I worry more about his eating and his vitamins and his fluids during the day than I ever did about my own children.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not going to laugh about that. Okay. We have under someone's seat here today is the world's, as a surprise, the world's largest cockroach.
I hope he's out there.
No, it's not. But with us, Mark has brought with him. I understand you brought as a gift.
Mark.
As a gift. Please explain this to what you have here.
A lot of people say to me, what's the most unusual thing you ever got in the mail?
Oh, my God.
Well, apart from the video of Giorgio, from Brazil, I got sent to me, and this is true, in the mail, what claimed to be the world's largest cockroach. It came in this box here from Guara River, Brazil. And he is I don't know if you can see that on your camera, 3 3/4 inches long. Because he's from Brazil, we call him
Can we get a camera shot of that? Could you tilt it a little bit more? Don't let it drop out, whatever you do.
Please don't let it drop out.
It's dead?
It's dead. Now,
shall we bow our heads?
He's very dead. Unfortunately, like Giorgio, he didn't make it into the book. There is a record for the largest cockroach, but it's a little bit longer. It's from Colombia, 3.8 inches long.
He died too soon. That even happens to cockroaches. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. I want to take this opportunity to thank all our guests for being with us. You all, one, have a great sense of humor. Two, you also have great dedication. And good luck. I hope those of you who haven't yet broken a record get to break the record you want, at least before you get to break your nails.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, good luck. Thanks for being with us.
Delight being here.
Thanks. Well, you know, the most remarkable aspects of the Guinness Book of World Records are not the records themselves, but the people who pursue them, who, unsatisfied with the 15 minutes of fame Andy Warhol promised them, want instead a spotlight of greater permanence. And if their achievement hasn't necessarily made the world better, it at least proves something to themselves, that they exist, that through perseverance and dedication, they accomplished their goal. They climbed their own Mount Everest. Why? Because it was there. And now there's proof that they were there too. Now, the people we met today, some of them didn't make it into the book, at least not yet, but their drive was no less. Though for the life of me, I can't understand why would one want to be the world's best on a pogo stick beyond the fun of taking on a challenge. Now, it seems to me the only record worth chasing isn't in anybody's book and can't be broken by anybody else. And that is, whatever we're doing to be the best we can be.
Apparently a school principal turns into a giant snake or something and the kids have to get him. Also, the folks who run Jerry Springer have said no more fights on that.